Well, Harish Salve is my first guest on the Newshour tonight, and Harish Salve deserves a special place because if there's one person who has been fighting VVIP culture individually pro bono, as an individual, as a citizen, as an advocate, it's been Harish Salve. So yesterday, Mr. Salve, we started this whole End VVIP Raj movement, and some of the stories truly are absolutely shocking. You know, like to go to New Delhi railway station, there is one road only for VVIPs. In Chandigarh railway station, there is one road for VVIPs and one road for humans. Right? So it's far beyond what we actually experience, and some of these stories tell us that this is a kind of racism, a disease which has crept into our society.
Absolutely. It's not a disease which has crept in, Arnab. I think it's worse. We have moved from being a feudal principality governed by a handful of Maharajas to a republic. But that's in our constitution. In our hearts, these are vestiges of feudalism which we need to shed. What has happened is, instead of the hereditary Maharaj, now you have the elected Maharajas. And that mindset has to change. And that's extremely important. And I can tell you, I've just come back from an extended stint in London. I've attended 2 functions where I met happened to bump into some ministers. I mean, there's no question of the kind of culture, and they live in a so-called feudal society. Yesterday, I was at a summit where Boris Johnson came and gave a speech. He was the mayor of London, one of the most popular politicians today. In UK, you have to see, he came on his bicycle, he parked his bicycle, came, gave a speech and went off. So this is the kind of culture, and that's the culture. We are a republic. We are one step ahead of them. They are a monarchy. Yeah. We are a republic, and it's the right of every citizen in the republic.
But tell me,
security concerns are another matter. But this VIP culture must say.
Tell me, you know, you've taken on the system very often on this. Some people are calling us and saying, and before I begin the debate, that's why I'm spending some time talking to you tonight, because you've been picking this up. My second question to you is, do you feel actually that it is possible to end it at an overall level? Because the response that I get from the political class is, okay, how many stories will you do? How many people will you expose? Yeah. Can Times Now actually stop the whole disease? And so I started the Newshour tonight, Mr. Salve, by appealing to people for their support. Because I don't know how many stories we can do, but it's a mindset we've got to fight out there, right?
I can, for people who think that way, I may or may not agree with a lot of what the Kejriwal government does, but I think they must revisit the premise that today media campaigns cannot bring about mass mobilization, because if that was so, Mr. Kejriwal would not have been a chief minister with this kind of a resounding majority. An idea, he is an idea which has been planted in the soil and which has now blossomed into a tree.
Well said.
So ideas today have become very important in India. With social media, with electronic media, and with the aroused consciousness of the common man, ideas have become very important. And I think they are underestimating why your program is so popular. Your program is popular because people want to hear somebody screaming at these politicians, waking them up, jolting them, shaking them and saying, what is going on?
No, because
so, I think anybody who turns up...
Mr. Salve, you know, the reason why we are putting, and I am putting a lot of the resources of this channel to it, and you do know about this, that ever since you picked up this campaign 3 years back, we've been reporting on this. You and I have several disagreements on legal issues, but on this we have been strongly together. Right. You see, Mr. Salve, the only reason we are picking it up, because I've experienced it myself. If I ask viewers today, have you been pushed around in an airport? Has some secretary to a minister said, hato, hato, hato? Mantri ji aa rahe? Or have you been held up in a traffic jam somewhere in Bandra, in Mumbai, with, you know, the sons of some notorious politician brushing you aside right in the middle of school time in an area close to a hospital? We've all experienced it. But somewhere I feel, Mr. Salve, with the response we got, that this is reaching a tipping point, because there were expectations from this government.
Of course.
That they would end it.
See, unfortunately, what has happened is the soft underbelly of all this is the states. It's very unfortunate. What the states did is when the Supreme Court said don't use red light, I know one particular state, I don't want to name them, they said no problem, we'll use green lights or blue lights. I mean, that's the spirit in which you respect. And I also want to share something with you, Arnab. I was disappointed by the Supreme Court judgment because they gave a very expanded meaning to the rule. So I have now filed a second petition, and I must say to Justice Loda's credit, he readily entertained the second petition. I have now outright challenged this rule, which allows government to have any kind of red lights, and it is symbolic. The red light is a symbol of this hangover of feudalism,
yes, it is.
And which is a symbol of this VIP culture. And I have now filed a fresh petition, which we are trying to push, get all the states on board and push for a hearing. Once for all, we must tell the Supreme Court what it means in the Constitution to have a republic.
May I make a suggestion, Mr. Salve, to you? That in your petition, you pick up some of the cases which we bring on a generic basis, right? We can bring some of those cases to your attention because you see, Mr. Salve, and I'm going to the debate soon, but I'm making this recommendation to you on behalf of all our viewers, since you're already fighting the case in court, separate roads, separate treatment, separate facilities, right? This separation which goes unless there is some genuine reason. If it's the Prime Minister of India, nobody's stopping him. The Home Minister of India offered a genuine security reason, but it's become an excuse. So maybe the lines of separation which have been blurred need to be looked at again.
Absolutely. And can I suggest something to you?
Yes.
Set up a separate email account.
Yes.
On your channel. Ask people to write, please collect all that and give it to me. It will be very helpful in my campaign in court.
This is very useful. I hope all our viewers are listening. This is Mr. Harish Salve, who's arguably among India's top lawyers. He's wanting to be joining our movement. And I also want to say this today. There's been genuine appreciation from people of great eminence. This morning I received a letter from Fali Nariman, from several other people who believe the time has come to challenge this. So what I'll do is I'll collect as many of the information we have with the hashtag and specific examples. I will send it to your office. Harish Salve, thanks for joining our movement, and thanks for joining me on the Newshour tonight. Okay, let's go straight to our debate now. Joining me on the debate this evening, GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP, Salman Soz of the Congress, Ajay Alok of the JDU, Harcharan Bains, advisor to the Chief Minister of Punjab, because Ms. Badal was very arrogant out there, Ranjana Kumari, Director of Centre for Social Research, Shahid Siddiqui, who is Chief Editor of Duniya, doesn't mince his words, and Ashwini Kakkar. I would like to start the debate with you. Ashwini Kakkar is a CEO of Mercury Travels and a big name in the world of tourism and travel. Now, how much of this is true and how much of the story has not been told yet, Mr. Ashwini Kakkar, about the VVIP culture that people are subjected to?
See, this is only the tip of the iceberg. I don't think much has come out of what is being seen today. Because if you look at it, the number of privileges that a lot of people enjoy in this country, it's unbelievable. It's not only at toll plazas or toilets, it's not only at airport lounges or monuments, it's not only at temples or stadiums or having private security. I mean, just look at private security as an example. There are 47,000 cops in this country who are protecting 14,000 people or thereabouts. And for the common man, one cop is protecting 700 people.
Absolutely.
This is a ridiculous situation, and it is the common man who's paying for all the cops, regardless of whether they are protect him or not. Not only whether they protect him, but even for most of the cops.
But people come and tell you that we suffer at the airports. Does the common man tell you we suffer at the airports, we are made to feel small?
See, this is a legacy of the British Raj. And then it went on to the royals, and then the royals were also, the privy purses were taken away.
Right.
But I can warn everybody that if these things are not taken care of, you will have another French Revolution.
Well, I think that's very well said. GVL Narasimha Rao, instead of actually being apologetic, you were aggressive with the media today. You said, journalists get a 50% concession on railways. First of all, Mr. Narasimha Rao, thanks for your aggression on that, but you have the freedom to revoke that if you wish. No, 1 second. But the fact is, your government promised to stop making the Aam Aadmi suffer with this form of VVIP racism. Why have you forgotten your promise? And why are you being so combative when you should be apologetic for your total and complete inaction on the issue of VVIP racism?
Arnab, last night also I told you, I am with you in this campaign. I think the government is already working on this. I gave you this information last night itself, the privilege, but this is a vicious cycle. Let me tell you, cycle? I have no hesitation in saying this again. There is a triumvirate of politicians, bureaucrats and media and journalists.
Well, I don't consider people, no, 1 second,
which is
1 second, 1 second, I'm speaking on Times Now and I believe we are the new media. 1 second, I don't know about the Delhi media, I don't know about the Latvians media. I'm talking about the real media in this country, and I'm telling you this. If there is a huge difference between a journalist getting a 50% concession on a train and driving up in your own car to the airport tarmac next to the plane. Anyway, I am not for concessions and privileges for journalists. My question to you tonight is simple. Okay, take that back, Yuko. Take it back. In my life, I have not taken advantage of any concession. We don't believe in concessions. We don't want concessions from the government.
Maybe you don't want concessions. I'm talking about the...
Take it away. I'm talking about the group as a whole. Take it away. I'm saying take it away. No, I am saying take away the houses, take away the concessions from these journalists, and media will be better for it. I'm saying take away the concessions from the journalists, take away the houses, take away the special privileges. I'm saying our media and our country will be better for it. But come to the point tonight. On here, I have pictures of modern day racism. Answer me tonight. Answer me. Chandrababu Naidu is your ally, right? Will you pick up the phone and tell Chandrababu Naidu, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, behave yourself from next time? Don't you dare do this. Don't you dare do this 4 times a day. 4 times a day, don't you dare treat the people of your own city like lesser human beings. Will you pick up the phone and tell Chandrababu Naidu to behave himself? Will you?
Arnab,
will you say I'll break the alliance with you?
This.
No, you tell me.
No, he's not going to stay.
No, why is he not going to do it?
You understand.
Why is he not?
You understand this is a state subject.
What state subject? Rubbish state subject. I don't want to hear excuses tonight. Shahid Siddiqui. Shahid Siddiqui on the debate. Excuses.
You're not arguing reasonably.
Who's arguing unreasonably? What is a state subject?
Unreasonably.
Yes, okay, so
don't argue unreasonably.
What is unreasonable about my argument? I'm sick and tired of this.
I think a public... This is an excess.
Sir, you stand there. I'll tell you one thing.
Will certainly yield results.
You know something?
Please keep up the campaign.
You know something? You want to tell me state subject? State subject.
Arnab, can I come in?
Concurrent list. I'm saying to you tonight, I'm getting Shahid Siddiqui into the debate. Mr. Narasimha Rao, remember one day, politicians are also human beings, though they sometimes forget it. One day a politician's family member, their loved ones, their parents, their children, their wives will be stuck in traffic when they need to get past it. One day the politician will lose his job, and one day the same politician will stand in a line, and one day that politician, retired politician, will be thrown aside by a serving politician, and the serving politician's secretary will tell the retired politician, "Hat jao, mantri ji aa rahe hain." One day when you will feel that insult, then maybe you will reform. Shahid Siddiqui is coming into the debate. I'm not giving up. Shahid Siddiqui.
I don't support this at all.
But it happens. You said you will end it.
Yes, Arnab, I welcome your campaign.
You said you will end it.
First thing is,
end it. Then live up to your promise.
End it. What is within its
domain. Mr. Narasimha Rao, please keep quiet now. Yes. Arnab, first we should erase this word VVIP from our dictionaries, from our minds, from our attitude, and the people of this country have to stand up against these so-called VIPs. And let me tell you, VIPs are not only politicians, it is the bureaucrats, and I have found judges behaving much more negatively and pushing people around. The people with judges in trains also misbehave with people. I have seen it time and again traveling in trains, and the whole attitude, and I also hold the people responsible for it. People expect this kind of behavior from so-called VIPs, so-called modern Maharajas, so-called elected representatives who they expect
to behave as their malik, as their owners. And they expect them to come in with a red light. I have seen many times, I have traveled, gone to marriages and other places driving my own car, and people have been so disappointed. They said, हमने तो सोचा था MP साहब, आप कुछ आओगे सिक्योरिटी लेकर, लाल बत्ती लेकर, हमारे आस पड़ोस वाले देखेंगे, आप तो ऐसे ही आ गए. So this is also the attitude that which has to change. The attitude is changing in the cities, in the cosmopolitan cities,
You see
but
these,
not in small towns.
no,
not
but
in
all
the
of them,
villages.
all of
And
them
that's
are
where we have
responsible.
to
All of them,
take
and
the whole
the
movement.
tragedy, and the
Unless that
tragedy,
changes, it's not a question of,
and the tragedy
Arnab,
tonight.
just let me finish. Just let me finish. Just one more point I want to make. Just one more point I want to make. It's not a question of, trains or airports. The question is of whole system. The system remains colonial. The mindset remains colonial, and there remains the maliks. A young boy who is selected as an IAS officer becomes a malik, a DM, with a huge bungalow where nobody can come close to him, nobody can go and complain to him.
Break
DM
the bungalows.
Is the boss, the malik of the
I
whole
say break
district,
the bungalows.
and nobody can
I would also like to propose tonight. I would like to propose tonight. I propose tonight. I propose tonight a new movement in our country, Shahid Siddiqui. I agree with you. And I believe the new movement in this country should be break the British Raj bungalows.
Absolutely.
Those British Raj bungalows remind us of our colonial past. And it's a sad thing that so many years after independence we want to aspire to live in those
unless
bungalows.
we fight them and stand up against these so-called VIPs.
I say tonight a movement for equality, Ranjana Kumari. A movement where there's equality at airports, equality on the roads, equality at hospitals, equality at railway stations, equality in every public place, equality in mindset, and not just in a legal document, Ranjana Kumari. But we can do this collectively. Can we do it this time? If we make it a year-long campaign, do you think we can achieve something?
Yes, Arnab. I think it's really good that this campaign is started by your channel, by you, with such emphatic for self-esteem and self-respect of Indians who living in democratic country really have to wait because Maharaja Sahab padhar rahe hain or Lat Sahab aa rahe hain. That is the mindset that has gone into the psyche of the people, as Shahid Siddiqui was saying, and also what the earlier the lawyer, a friend of ours, he said that. I think it's very important. Two things I want to emphasize here. Being women who has experienced it more than anybody else in this system, because in any case, in any kind of program, any function, whosoever you may be, if you are a woman, you are the last seat will be offered, or the corner seat will be offered to you. You may be asked question even if you're a member of parliament, if nobody is recognizing you. So I think nobody suffers it more than that. But I want to bring in just people's perspective. Don't think that such a strong message that was sent by the poor people, the deprived people, the excluded people of Delhi, that if you forget about us, we will forget about you, or we will teach you a lesson, or we will put you in your place. I think a person like Prime Minister of India who comes from a very, very modest background, and then today he's sitting there. Why is he not? And he made promises in his speeches. So I think person like him should, in fact, his party, and look at his party
maybe they need to be reminded.
His party's spokespersons are obnoxious.
They need to be reminded.
The arrogance is obnoxious. I think this has to
Arnab,
change.
they want to get elected to become VIPs.
They have to come back on earth.
Serve people.
Mr. Narasimha Rao, 1 second, during the election campaign as well as after, during the election campaign.
He doesn't want anybody to speak.
1 second.
He is arrogant all the time. It doesn't work.
Now,
you know that people are seeing you, listening to you.
You should be allowed to.
In any way evaluating you, monitoring you.
Sir,
and people are not of the beginning of the independence.
No, I'll tell you. No, this question is now being increasingly asked. GVL Narasimha Rao, Mr. Rao, listen to me. Mr. Rao, listen to me. 1 second, listen to me. We will ask more questions of you because you are in government. We will ask
You ask
no,
everybody
one
else
second.
on the
1 minute.
panel.
Let me complete.
Why
Let me
you- are
complete.
you-
We
are you
will
running
no,
a
1 second,
campaign
Mr. Rao.
against BJP?
Mr. Rao,
Are
Mr.
you
Rao,
running
hear
a
me.
campaign
Mr.
against
Rao, hear me
BJP?
tonight.
Are you running a campaign against BJP?
Mr.
You
Rao,
have
I'm
other-
running a
you have
campaign
other
against
political
VVIP culture.
representatives.
Don't you
You
give a
have-
political?
you
Why
have
is there a
culture.
political angle
No,
to
no,
this?
you are running a campaign against my party.
Sir, I'm really sorry. I'm running a campaign against the
You are
mindset.
running a campaign.
I'm running a campaign against the mindset.
You address.
And I will ask every political party, don't try and behave like a
Don't
martyr
you
tonight
dare.
on the program.
Don't you dare only allege our party.
Mr. What did you say? What did you say? What did you say, Mr. Rao?
Don't dare to.
Don't dare to what?
Don't
Mr.
allege
Narasimha Rao,
only-
No, no, one
Don't
second.
take
Open threat on Newshour. One second.
Government.
Opposition.
No, one second.
I
Mr.
think
Shahid
it's
Siddiqui.
about
Mr.
mindset.
Shahid Siddiqui, let me give our viewers an example of arrogance.
Look at the language.
No, look at the language being used by
Arnab.
Mr. Narasimha Rao tonight.
Look at the
Mr.
language.
Narasimha Rao,
Look at the audacity.
Mr. Narasimha Rao,
Look at
viewers
the
are there, they are
audacity.
watching.
Look at the arrogance.
Yeah, watch
Please
it tonight.
mind
Look at
what
the
you
arrogance,
say.
the
Mind what you
audacity.
say.
It is not
the
against one
language.
party at all. It is.
No, it's not.
It is against
It's
a
not. Don't
mindset.
direct your
This has
anger
nothing
against
to
my
do.
government.
This
We
has
have
nothing
done
to do
nothing.
with one
We have
party
done
or
nothing
another.
to
Bringing
kick this
out of
culture.
it.
No, no,
Anything
it's-
we
Why
are
are you
ending
defending
this
this
culture.
arrogance
against
behind
your
We are
mindset,
ending
Mr.
this
Narasimha
culture.
Rao?
You address
If you are
it to
against
the
it, why are
Congress
you
party.
defending
You
it?
address it
Say
to
it is wrong, we
JDU.
will fight against it.
It's wrong. I said this 10 times. If you have not heard, what can I say? I said this is wrong. It must end.
It's against
Our
every
government
political
will take
party,
steps to
every
end this.
politician.
Mr. Rao, I
said
want to
this.
say something to you. Once I'm saying something
We
to you.
are saying
No, one
it's
second.
about
Let me deal with
ruling
Mr.
class.
You
Let
don't
me deal with
mindset.
Mr. Rao
It's about
tonight.
arrogance in the
Mr. Rao, I want to say
We
something
are
to you.
talking
One
about the
second. Mr.
mindset.
Rao, without raising
Yeah,
my
please.
voice like you are, I want to say something to you. Don't try to threaten me. Okay?
No, I'm not threatening,
Good.
but I'm saying don't target our government.
No, one
We are
second.
not
One second.
responsible for this.
Second is,
We are not responsible
Mr.
for
Rao, I'm
this.
saying something tonight. Mr. Rao, you know, go ask some of the fellow politicians that you have on the other side of the political spectrum, right? Go ask them whether threats work with me, and they will tell you, Mr. Rao, for me personally and for this channel, which I am proud to be a part of, this kind of silly, childish, amateurish threat that you're putting is water off a duck's back. And don't you tell me, Mr.
No,
Rao,
that's what you're
don't you
trying to do
don't
with
you
me.
don't you
That's
don't
what
you
you're
tell me,
trying to do
Mr.
with me.
Rao, don't you tell me, Mr. Rao, that I should mind
Please.
what I say. My freedom of expression is granted by the Constitution, not by any political party, certainly not yours.
Absolutely.
Secondly, Mr. Rao,
Absolutely.
secondly,
And
Mr.
we're not
Rao,
going to give up
I
at any
place on
cost.
record
But I
tonight,
have a right to
I
say-
place on
I have a
record
right
tonight,
to say
Mr.
you are
Rao, that you
targeting
have
my
said to
party
me,
for
you have
no
said
rhyme
to
or
me,
reason.
you have said to me, and I'm repeating, so
You
for the
have-
consumption of the viewing public tonight, that a spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party has come on the Newshour and told me, don't you dare to question our party. Now, Mr. Rao, I don't need
No,
the
don't
permission
you
of any
dare to
political
target
party.
us
You want
for
to,
no rhyme or
Mr. Rao, I'll
reason.
tell you something.
We are not responsible
You
for
want a
this.
namby-pamby kind of political line? You want journalists who toe the line? You want journalists, when you use that kind of language, who will respond to you and cower and say, yes, Mr. Rao, I will behave myself the next time. Then you can try it somewhere else, Mr. Rao. And my question is to come
this
back
is
to the
part of
subject.
the problem.
My come back to the subject. During the government, during the election campaign, as well as after coming to power, Mr. Rao is fully aware that Narendra Modi had spoken of forming this government not as a ruler, but as a servant of the people. And yet, it is people from your own government, Mr. Rao, who wish to be treated as rulers.
Yes.
Namely, Mr. Ram Vilas Paswan. And the government has willingly obliged. Now, I don't tell you what to dare or not dare, and I demand, Mr. Rao, that you live up to your promise.
I said we will.
Really?
We
Thank
are
you. You have
and
1
we
week
will.
too. We'll follow it up.
We don't take deadlines, sir. Not,
Really, I'm
but
sure
we
you
will
don't.
certainly
I
follow
know
up
you
on
don't.
our
Elections
promise.
are over, right?
No, there is a process that has to be followed. Don't give me a deadline. The government is certainly, I told you last night, and it is certainly, the government is serious. It's
See, Mr.
reviewing
Rao,
it
I'll tell you
and
one
will
thing.
be done
Mr. Rao,
as
Mr. Rao,
as
I'll
soon
tell
as
you,
possible.
this is just
Mr.
be
Rao,
careful here.
The issue is that the public opinion is building up. I think, you know, there's a lot of groundswell that has expressed itself in Delhi elections, and you know that.
Yeah,
and
but-
I think that's part of the
Yeah,
reason
but Mr. Rao might
why
say
the rest of the political spectrum is clearly understanding that these things must go. They need to go. They are long overdue to go. And I think, you know, it is incumbent upon our leadership, whoever they may be, to actually take the right steps.
Actually,
and
Mr.
make
Rao,
sure that this thing,
I agree. I agree totally.
Mr. Rao,
I agree.
Mr. Rao, you see,
I agree. Totally
you are giving continued privileges in your tenure to Ramvilas Paswan,
Arnab,
some Mr. Makhija, who's brother-in-law of Sukhbir Badal, and Sukhbir Badal's wife Harsimrat Kaur Badal. Now, I don't understand, you used to slam Shashi Tharoor for his cattle class comment in 2009. Yeah, you said at that point of time that this is why you should vote for us. We will bring change. Badal denge. Logo ke liye अच्छे दिन आएंगे. और आपने कहा था, आपको किसी ने वहां पे दबाव देके नहीं बुलवाया था कि आपने कहा अच्छे दिन आएंगे. And today, at that time you said Shashi Tharoor's comments on cattle class are an insult to the self-respect of millions of people in India who travel economy class. And here you are as a government, elected government, 282 MPs, allowing a series of people to drive down their vehicles all up to the plane while other people languish in queues. So you betrayed the promise that you made.
How many times do I tell you, Arnab?
You betrayed the promise that you made.
This government has given that access to only two.
Really, who
only
are the
two
take
people.
it back? Take it all back.
Else.
Take it all back.
Everybody else.
Why did you give it?
Everybody else.
Why did you
was there on the list?
Ranjana Kumari.
Ranjana Kumari.
Ranjana Kumari.
The government has given it to only two persons.
No, there are 19 people on the list.
To Mr. Rao and his party and the
All others have been given by the Congress party.
It's not about the list. You are extending the culture and the privileges.
Listen, Mr. Law, sometimes...
No. Please.
No,
Listen to me. The list. This 17. No, all the names.
Please listen. We
all the
been
names.
35 years in public life.
you have to.
Please listen to us. Because let me give you two suggestions. One, you withdraw the names that were already there and which are not supposed to be there. You
That process.
Number two,
Yes, it is happening.
Call the meeting. Chief Minister's meeting. In Chief Minister's meeting, you appeal to all the Chief Ministers of the state.
Yes.
Tell them to just do away with this VIP culture. We don't want to tolerate Maharajas anymore.
You see
we
this...
don't have any Lat Sahabs anymore. We want our parliament members to be people who come to door to ask for vote. The moment people have voted, you become from Sevak to Rajas. We don't want to accept that.
Arnab.
So please call a meeting.
Salman Soz and Mr. Harcharan Bains.
And appeal that every state should change
Salman
these
Soz
rules.
and Harcharan Bains, Mr. Bains. Mr.
We don't want family members to die
Mr.
on the road.
Mr. Bains and
VIPs
Salman
are going.
Soz.
We don't want special privileges.
Salman Soz and Mr.
Please
Harcharan
change
Bains.
you
Mr.
can
Bains.
change it.
Mr. Bains,
You can
1 minute.
change it.
Ranjana Kumari. Trending number one globally right now is our debate and VVIP Raj, a reflection of how strongly the people of this country feel about this whole culture of VVIP racism, which unfortunately the BJP does not seem to have the courage yet of actually fighting. They made this promise before the elections and now they get angry when we remind them about their promise.
Now,
Mr. Bains, why does Harsimrat Kaur Badal and Mr. Makhija, her brother, drive their cars right up to the plane?
Arnab, first of all, let me come to the point. The point you're discussing, I think everybody on this program agrees that there should be no VIP culture, whether it's Harsimrat Badal or Narendra Modi or somebody else. Regarding why she drove up, I think that question was asked of her, and she replied it herself. That she will go and look into it and why it happened. And
no, she looks very angry.
If she
what is she angry about? I'm angry that she gets this privilege.
She looks very.
I'm very angry.
I think
I'm very angry that she insults the people of this country. I'm very angry that she insults the people of this country, and I'm very angry. I'm very angry that the whole Badal family takes their planes right up to, the airports and takes their cars right up to the plane. I'm very angry about that.
And all the traffic is stopped.
No, 1 second.
I am not angry with you for whatever you say.
No, but why tell me, why does she take, no, I'm asking you, why does Mr. Makhija, Mr. Sukhbir Badal, Mr. Prakash Singh Badal and Harsimrat Kaur Badal, why do they? I'm asking you, why do they? Why do they get this privilege? Why do they insult people by accepting the privilege? Why?
You are framing the question the wrong way.
How should I frame the question?
Cannot have this facility. Will you please allow me to speak? Will you please allow me to speak?
I'm listening.
Or shall I close it?
No, I'm listening. Don't show irritation.
I can
This is a
answer only if
legitimate
you let me
question
speak.
on behalf
Yeah,
of the
okay.
people. One
All
second,
I'm saying is that please,
Mr. Bains,
no, please,
you know, you're all beginning to show irritation right now.
It's not on behalf of the people. It's
Really, it's not? Should I open the phone lines
Okay.
right now? You'll realize what people feel about this.
Shall I speak?
Yes.
Shall I speak?
Yes.
All I'm saying is that please reframe the question, and I'll agree with you that nobody in this country, not even the Prime Minister of this country, except on grounds of pragmatic security consideration, needs to be given any preferential treatment at the airports or anywhere.
No, that's not.
Anywhere.
I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah,
in April 2010,
neither has Mr. Badal.
Sir, I'm not talking about generalities. I'm not talking about generalities. Mr. Bains, you are not giving me an answer. I certainly request if Harsimrat Kaur Badal and Sukhbir Badal and Mr. Majita and Prakash Singh Badal are progressive politicians, I expect an announcement by tomorrow morning that they would not insult the people of this country by driving their cars, appearing to be so super busy, so super stressed, that they will drive their cars up to the doors of the plane, and old people, ailing people, sick people will go through the normal procedure. That is an insult, Mr. Bains. You can carry this message to your political bosses on this subject. That's the way we feel. And I'm sure pretty much that's the way the people of this country feel. Now, Mr.
You will not need to,
Yes?
You will not need to wait till the morning. I make this announcement right now.
What?
That they have not and they will not demand any preferential treatment.
Demand, no, that's what she's saying. I don't demand, but you ask the government why my name is on the list. It's like Robert Vadra saying, I never wanted my name. I'm sorry, if Robert Vadra tells you, I never wanted my name to be up there in the SPG, let's ask the government. Would you accept it?
You know what?
Sir, you can't say one thing and
what
do another.
happens sometimes is that these let me speak here. Let me speak. What happens at certain points of time, what happens is that these so-called VIPs are taken to these public places or airports or other places and are extended certain facilities.
Why do they? No, one second, please. Are they not educated? Are they not aware? Are they blind? Are they ignorant?
They are not aware of.
Achha, this is a very strange. I have a doctor on the line from Ludhiana.
Even you won't be aware of it.
Sir, I'll tell you one thing. I have a doctor on the line from Ludhiana. Now, this is getting very silly. I actually would like to call up Harsimrat Kaur Badal. She can call up right now and tell me why she does it. I want an announcement. I want the politicians of this country to give up a little bit and not just grab what they get.